Sponsored by rxcardclub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 85% on prescription drugs. rxcardclub.com, Life Expectancy from Prehistory to 1800 and Beyond. In 2022, the average life expectancy in the United States was 78 years, 75 years for males and 80 years for females. That's a big jump from 1900, when the average life expectancy for a newborn in the US was 47 years. /r/n/r/n Prior to medical advances made in the mid-20th century, most notably the development of vaccines which prevented diseases that previously wiped out large sectors of the population, the average life expectancy hasn't changed all that much. /r/n/r/n In fact, some research suggests that the average life expectancy of Paleolithic era people, 12,000 years ago and earlier, was around 33 years. /r/n/r/n By preventing the spread of diseases and improving child mortality rates, people are living far longer than ever. Even so, with longer lifespans come newer challenges like cancers and Alzheimer's disease that limit how long the population at large can expect to live. /r/n/r/n This article looks at life expectancy rates over the centuries and the medical advances that afforded incredible leaps in how long populations survive. It also looks at the factors that can limit, and even take back, those gains, including pandemics like HIV and COVID-19. /r/n/r/n Luis Palaez Incorporated, Getty Images /r/n/r/n Lifespan is a measure of the actual length of an individual's life. Life expectancy is the average lifespan of an entire population, which can be broken down for statistical purposes into population groups, such as age, sex, race, and income. /r/n/r/n Even in ancient times, when life expectancy rates were low, an individual who was able to avoid childhood mortality, infectious diseases, malnutrition, and serious injury could live well into their 50s and even possibly their 60s. /r/n/r/n Until fairly recently, little information existed about how long prehistoric people lived. Having access to too few fossilized human remains has made it difficult for historians to estimate the demographics, statistical characteristics of a population, of any particular group. /r/n/r/n In 2006, scientists at Central Michigan University and the University of California, Riverside chose to analyze what is known as the relative age of fossilized skeletons found in archeological digs throughout Africa, Europe, and elsewhere. /r/n/r/n Relative age is the comparison of one fossil to another fossil to determine which is younger or older. Using carbon dating and other techniques, scientists can estimate how long two individuals living in the same time period may have survived. /r/n/r/n After comparing the proportion of those who died at a younger age to those who died at an older age, the researcher concluded that longevity only began to significantly increase past the age of 30 or so about 30,000 years ago. /r/n/r/n In a later article published in Scientific American, the researchers called the shift the evolution of grandparents, marking the first time in human history that three generations may have coexisted. /r/n/r/n Life expectancy estimates from ancient to pre-industrial times haven't changed all that much from the Paleolithic era. Though evidence in the form of historical records or fossilized remains is limited, the body of research suggests that life expectancy rates stagnated from the Neolithic era to the dawn of the Industrial Age. /r/n/r/n Scientists note that the main factors limiting life expectancy were infant deaths and early deaths caused by malnutrition or disease. This included pandemics like the bubonic plague of the 14th century that spread throughout Europe and Asia, killing more than a third of Europe's population. /r/n/r/n Similar losses were attributed to smallpox, which resulted in pandemics during the 11th century, attributed to the Crusades, and the 17th century, due to the immigration of European settlers into North America. /r/n/r/n. Widespread poverty also led to malnutrition and early death in ancient times in the same way as it does today. /r/n/r/n. Here is a short breakdown of average life expectancy from ancient times to the mid-18th century, /r/n/r/n. From the 1500s until around the early 1800s, life expectancy throughout Europe hovered between 30 and 40 years. This was due in part to infant mortality rates that remained at 25% until 1800. /r/n/r/n. But from the mid-1800s onward, estimated life expectancy at birth doubled every 10 generations due to improved health care, sanitation, immunizations, access to clean water, and better nutrition. /r/n/r/n. Even so, diseases like rheumatic fever, typhoid, and scarlet fever still impacted life expectancy during the 1800s and early 1900s. But as science progressed and newly created vaccines offered protection against many of these and other illnesses, life expectancy began to rapidly increase. /r/n/r/n. An example of this was offered by Scottish researcher TH Hollingworth, who described the life expectancy of women at age 15 from pre-industrial times to modern times. /r/n/r/n. Today most industrialized countries boast life expectancy figures of more than 75 years, according to data compiled by the Central Intelligence Agency. /r/n/r/n. However, the life expectancy path is always upward. In the same way that the Black Plague reversed life expectancy gains during the 14th century, pandemic diseases like COVID-19 have done the same in the 20th century. Other factors like drug overdose, suicide, homicide, and heart disease have also had an impact. /r/n/r/n. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, life expectancy in the United States declined 2 years in a row from 79 years in 2019 to 77 years in 2020 to 76.1 years in 2021. It was the biggest 2-year decline in life expectancy since the years 1921 to 1923. /r/n/r/n. The decline was largely driven by the COVID-19 pandemic, which accounted for 74% of the decline from 2019 to 2020 and 50% of the decline from 2020 to 2021. /r/n/r/n. Other researchers predict that lifestyle factors like obesity may halt or even reverse the rise in life expectancy. /r/n/r/n. Epidemiologist S.J. Olshansky warns that in the United States here 2/3 of the population is overweight or obese. Complications like heart disease and type 2 diabetes could very well reverse gains made in the first half of the 21st century. /r/n/r/n. At the same time, rising life expectancy in developed countries like the United States may bring both good and bad news. In short, by living longer, people are at greater risk of dying from aging-related illnesses like coronary artery disease, certain cancers, and Alzheimer's disease. Until cures are found, these conditions could very well create a glass ceiling for how long a person can possibly live. /r/n/r/n. Even, many of these aging-related conditions can be prevented or delayed through lifestyle choices such as maintaining a healthy weight, exercising regularly, managing stress, and eating a healthy diet, such as the Mediterranean diet and anti-aging diet. /r/n/r/n/r/n/r/n. Thank you. Form.email, for signing up. /r/n/r/n. There was an error. Please try again. /r/n/r/n. rxcardclub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 80% on prescription drugs.